And welcome everyone to our all level flow. Today we'll start seated. So just finding a comfortable shape on your mat, right? If you have a blanket or pillow that you'd like to sit up onto, you can just set that up. And then as you settle into this first shape, and just begin to connect with the breath. Taking a moment here just to notice how you're breathing. Noticing the quality of your breath. Maybe doing a bit of a body scan, just to notice all the different sensations that are happening in the body right now. Maybe noticing where in the body you might be holding sensations of tension or tightness, and maybe even breathing into those places, just to offer a little bit more space. And then sitting up nice and tall, right, lengthening through the spine. Let's twist to the right. You can rest the right hand or left hand onto the right knee and take the right hand out behind you. Maybe just finding a little bit more length and then twisting a little further. And just hold here in your twist. Maybe noticing where in the spine the rotation is happening. Or maybe even noticing how you're breathing in this twist. And then let's sweep the right arm up. And we'll start to take a side bend here. Right, start to lean over your left leg and just reach the right arm overhead. Maybe hug the left waist in and then start to expand across the right side. And just hold and breathe here. And then slowly start to tip the torso forward. Right, maybe even keep stretching that right arm over to the left. And just noticing the sensation of stretch travel across the back of the right shoulder. Let's start to rise back up, taking the arm back up, and then lowering the arm back down. And then just hold here in your twist, just giving yourself a breath here. And then slowly unwind and come back to center. Right, taking a moment here to pause. Maybe notice how the right side might feel different from the left. And sitting up tall once again, let's start to twist to the left. Right, resting the right hand onto the left knee, left arm out behind you. Again, just grow a little taller, and then maybe find just a little bit more rotation. And just continue to breathe and hold the twist. And then setting up for that side bend. Let's start to stretch the left arm up and start to lean over the right leg. Right, hug that right waist in and expand across the left side. Right, stretch the arm over to the right. And then slowly start to tip the torso forward. Right, still reaching over to the right. And then just noticing that sensation of stretch across the back of the left shoulder. And then rise back up. Right, taking the arm up. Lower the left arm down and come back into your twist. Give yourself a breath here. And then let's unwind. Return to center once again. And then making your way into tabletop. Right, we'll stretch into the wrists, right, stretch into the hands. So hands about shoulder distance or a little bit wider. Shoulders can be stacked above wrists or slightly behind. And knees about hip distance, and either tops of the feet on the mat or toes can be tucked under. And then just start to hinge back any amount. And then slowly shift forward, right? Taking the shoulders past the wrists, any amount. And just start to feel a sensation of stretch into the hands, into the forearms and wrists. And then shifting back. So just rocking back and forth. Maybe pausing for a moment as you lean forward. Right, just stretching into the wrists. And then let's return back to center. And then turning fingertips to face the edges of the mat. Let's start to rock from side to side. And just start to notice the weight through the hands shift between each hand. Maybe start to make some circles through the arms and just feel the weight travel across the hands. And then change direction of your circle. And then coming back to center. Let's turn the hands forward so the fingertips face the top of the mat. And then tucking toes under, start to walk the hands back. Right, start to lift the knees up as you get a little closer. And then we'll just make our way into a squat towards the back of the mat. Right, don't worry about the heels touching the mat, right? Heels can stay lifted. Right, if you need to adjust the position of the feet, right, you could take a moment to do that. Maybe even just rock a little from side to side. And just noticing how the squat feels in your body. And then coming back to center. Right, slowly start to straighten the legs, lifting the hips up and coming into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Right, knees can be bent a lot, or you can keep the legs towards straight. Allow the spine to stay long. Allow the head to get heavy. And on your next breath, lifting up halfway. And then fold forward once again. Let's rise all the way up to standing. Circling arms up and over. And then right away, start to hinge forward. Make your way back into standing forward fold. Let's lift and lengthen halfway. Right, keep the spine long and extend out through the crown of the head. Folding forward, planting hands. Start to walk the hands forward. Right, start to lower the knees down onto the mat and make your way back into tabletop. Let's take a couple of cycles of cat and cow. So whether you prefer to inhale or exhale when you come into cow, on your next breath, start to drop the belly and scoop the spine, taking the tailbone up, sending the chest forward and taking your gaze up. And when you're ready, start to round through the spine, lower the head and tuck the tailbone. Really stretch across the back body. And when you're ready, making your way back into cow, and then stretching back into cat. So just a couple more cycles of cat and cow. And just going at your pace. And just feeling the waves that you create through the spine. And then return back to tabletop. And once again, let's start to walk the hands back. And let's start to lift the knees up. Right, finding our squat at the back of the mat. Right, again, if you need to readjust the position of the feet, or if you'd like, maybe just rock a little from side to side. And then returning to center. Right, start to straighten the legs, lifting the hips back up, coming back into our standing forward fold. Let's lift and lengthen halfway. Keep the back of the neck long and pull the shoulders back. Fold forward, and then pressing feet down into the mat, rise up to stand. Taking arms up and over, and then right away, hinging forward, making your way back into your standing forward fold. Let's lift and lengthen halfway. Fold forward once again, and then either lowering, like really coming down in towards your squat. We're going to walk the hands forward, making our way into plank. And once you found your plank, right, either knees up or knees down, let's start to lower all the way down onto the mat. Untuck the toes and press the tops of the feet down into the mat, hugging the elbows in. Start to curl up, coming up into your back bend. And then lower all the way back down. And then let's push back into tabletop. Let's walk the hands over to the right side of the mat and step the left foot forward. Sweeping arms up and over, coming into low lunge. And then let's twist to the left. Take the arms out wide. Hold in your twist and start to lower the left arm back. Take the right arm up. Rising up through your twist. Setting the right hand down. Take the left arm up. Plant the left hand down onto the mat. Tuck the right toes under and lift the right knee up. And then step the right foot forward next to the left. Coming into standing forward fold at the top of your mat. Lifting up halfway. Right, extend out through the crown of the head. Folding forward. And then rise up to stand. Circle arms up and over. Keeping the arms up. Let's start to bend the knees and take the hips back. Coming into chair. And let's just hold here in chair. Right, lengthen the spine, lift your heart up and extend out through the fingertips. And then sweeping arms down, coming into your forward fold. Lifting up halfway, folding forward and planting the hands and stepping the feet back. Right, finding your plank, right, option of knees up or down. Lower down onto the mat, untucking the toes. Again, hug the elbows in and press the tops of the feet down into the mat and start to curl up into your back bend. Right, lift up through the crown of the head, keep the back of the neck long and send the heart forward. And then lower all the way back down. And then push back into your tabletop. And we'll do that same flow on the other side. Let's walk the hands to the left side of the mat and step the right foot forward. Taking arms up and over for your low lunge. Let's twist to the right. Take the arms out wide. Hold in your twist and start to lower the right arm back. Take the left arm up. Rise back up through your twist. And then let's plant the left hand down. Stretch the right arm up. Sweeping the right hand down onto the mat. Tuck the left toes under and lift the left knee up. And then step the left foot forward next to the right, coming into your standing forward fold. Lifting up halfway, unfurl the spine and send the heart forward. Fold forward and then right away rise up to stand. Taking arms up and over and coming back into chair. Let's bend the knees and sit the hips back. And really feel the weight through the feet. Maybe send the hips back a little further. And grow tall through the spine. And then let's fold forward once again. Lifting up halfway. And then let's fold and plant the hands. Stepping the feet back. Again, coming into your plank. Knees up or down. Lower down onto the mat. Untuck the toes. And start to pull the hands back as you lift up into your cobra. And then let's lower all the way back down. And then pushing back up into tabletop. Let's tuck the toes under. Start to walk the hands back. Lifting the knees up and making your way into your squat. Right, again, maybe take a moment to readjust your feet. Right, lifting up through the crown of the head. Maybe pull the tailbone down towards the mat and just notice how that feels in this shape. And then coming into standing forward fold, straighten the legs and take the hips up. Let's lift and lengthen halfway and then fold forward. Let's rise up to stand, taking the arms up and over, and then release the arms to your sides. Standing at the back of the mat, and then we'll make our way towards the top of the mat, just doing a bit of a balance walk. Or you can interlace hands in front of the heart, maybe pointing index fingers. We'll just start with feet about hip distance. And really feel the weight through the feet. Let's start to shift the weight into the left foot. And let's start to lift the right knee up towards hip height. And slowly start to hinge forward and just kick the right leg out behind you. Slowly start to take that right leg over to the left. And you'll start to tip the torso over to the right. Maybe extend the arms out. And then slowly come back to center. Start to lift that right knee up. Start to kick your right leg out to the side. And start to extend the arms over to the left. Slowly come back to center. Lifting that right knee back up. And then let's step forward. And then go to the other side. Picking the left knee up. Right, balancing onto our right leg. Start to tip forward. Extend the left leg out. Take the leg past midline over to the right. And start to reach the arms over to the left. Slowly come back to center. Let's lift that left knee up. And then kick the left leg out to the left. And just reach the arms out to the right. Slowly back to center once again. Lifting that left knee up. And then step the left foot forward. And once more on each side. Balancing on your left leg. Let's take the right knee up. Tipping the torso forward and taking the right leg out behind you. Sweep it towards the left. Reach the arms over to the right. And then slowly back to center. Lifting that right knee back up. Kick the right leg out to the right. Reaching arms over to the left. And then back to center once again. And let's step the right foot forward. And one more time, balancing on the right leg. Lift the left knee up. Tipping forward. Let's extend the left leg out behind us. Take it over to the right. Reach the arms to the left. Coming back to center. Right, take that left knee up. Kick it over to the left. And reach the arms out to the right. Ooh. And then let's return to center. Take that left knee up. And then step the foot down. Release the hands. And we're just standing at the top of the mat. Let's sweep the arms up and over. And then right away, hinge forward. Right, coming into your standing forward fold. Let's lift and lengthen halfway. And fold forward. Plant the hands. And step the feet back. Find your plank. Right, knees up or down. Lower down onto the mat. Let's untuck the toes. Right, hug the elbows in and start to lift up for your back bend. And slowly lower all the way back down. And let's push back into tabletop. Walk the hands over to the right side of the mat and step the left foot forward next to the hands. Let's tuck the right toes under and start to lift that right knee up. And then slowly sweep the arms up, coming into our high lunge. Let's twist to the left. Take the arms out wide and hold in your twist. Start to lower the left arm down. Stretch the right arm up. Rising up through your twist. Let's plant the right hand down and take the left arm up. Planting the left hand onto the mat, step the right foot forward. Coming into our standing forward fold. Let's lift and lengthen halfway. And then fold forward. Rise all the way up to stand. Take the arms up and over. And then setting up for chair. Right, bend the knees and take the hips back. Right, coming into chair pose. Right, maybe grow a little taller through the spine and lift the heart up. And then let's take hands to heart center. Let's start to lower elbows down towards the knees. Right, so coming into this smaller sort of chair. Right, really focusing on keeping the elbows connected to the thighs. Right, we're going to come up to standing on one leg. So let's focus on maintaining the connection of the right elbow and right thigh, and we'll come to stand up onto the left leg. Start to shift the weight into the left foot. start to lift the right heel up. Right, starting to straighten into that left leg. Right, start to come off the toes. Right, and just try to keep the connection of that right elbow and right thigh for as long as you can. Right, making your way up to stand. And you can release the connection and just take the knee towards hip height. Let's sweep the right knee out to the side and then take the sole of the right foot along the left leg, right, setting up for tree. And so just finding your steadiness and find your balance. Really hug into the midline and grow a little taller. And you can keep hands at heart center. Option, if you like, you can take the arms up overhead. You can even take a little bit of a back bend if that feels okay for you. And just hold and breathe. And then if the arms were up and over, taking the hands back to heart center. Let's turn the right knee forward. Maybe start to tip the torso forward, right, and start to connect that right thigh and right elbow together. Start to bend into that left knee. Slowly lower all the way back down. Right, returning back into this like small squishy chair. And just give yourself a breath here. And then let's come into forward fold and release the arms. Let's lift up halfway and then fold forward and plant the hands, stepping the feet back, coming into your plank, and then lower all the way down onto the mat, untucking the toes. Right, start to pull the hands towards the back of the mat. Start to lift up through the crown of the head, right, coming up into your back bend. And then lowering all the way back down. And let's push back into tabletop. And we'll do that same flow on the other side. Walking hands to the left side of the mat. Step the right foot forward next to the hands. Tuck the left toes under and lift that left knee up. And then rising up, sweeping the arms up, coming into your high lunge. Let's twist to the right. Take the arms out wide. Start to lower the right arm back. Reach the left arm up. Coming back through your twist. Let's plant that left hand down onto the mat and stretch the right arm up. Let's plant the right hand down onto the mat and then step the left foot forward, coming into standing forward fold. Lifting up halfway, unfurl the spine and send the heart forward. Folding forward and then rising up to stand. Taking the arms up and over and then release the arms. And then setting up for chair. Let's reach the arms up. Bend the knees and sit the hips back. Right, just find your chair. Or maybe bending the knees a little more. Maybe taking the hips back a little more. Right, lift up through the heart. And then just take a breath here. And then let's take hands to heart center. And then slowly lower so that we can connect the elbows onto the thighs. And then we'll set up into our balance. So this time we'll be shifting the weight into the right foot and maintaining the connection of the left elbow and left thigh. Right, slowly start to lift that left heel up. Right, really rooting through that right foot. Right, slowly start to come up to stand on that right leg. And just try to keep that elbow and thigh connected for as long as you can. Right, and just release once you've come up to stand. Right, with that right knee or left knee up around hip height. Oh, let's swing the leg out to the side. And then take the sole of the left foot along the inner right leg. Right, coming into tree. Again, hug in towards the midline. Right, standing tall. Option if you'd like. You can take the arms up and over. And just holding in your tree. And if the arms were up overhead, let's take the hands back to heart center. Let's start to turn the left knee forward and start to lean forward and reconnect the left elbow and left leg. Start to bend into that right knee and lower all the way back down, returning back into the slow chair. And just take a breath here and then release the arms and tip forward, coming into your standing forward fold. Lift and lengthen halfway and fold forward. Plant the hands, stepping the feet back, coming into your plank, right knees up or down. Lower all the way down onto the mat, untucking the toes. Really press the feet down and start to curl up, coming into your cobra. Keep the back of the neck long and send the heart forward. And then lower all the way back down. And then push back into child's pose. You can keep the arms forward or take arms back. You can bend the elbows and stack the hands and rest the forehead onto hands. And just reconnecting with your breath. And just taking the time to notice all the different sensations that are happening in the body right now. And then make your way into tabletop. And let's walk the hands over to the right side of the mat and step the left foot forward. Let's tuck the right toes under and lift the right knee up, and then pivot onto the sole of the right foot. Sweep arms up and over, coming into warrior one. Right, hug your left hip back and spin the inner right thigh out. Grow tall through your spine and extend out through the fingertips. Let's take hands to heart center and start to lean forward just slightly, right? Creating a nice long line from the right heel up through to the crown of the head. And then just start to twist to the left, right? So you're not going to go out really far just because the sole of that right foot is on the mat. So it's just more of a slight twist. So we're just going to hover and hold this twist. Really press through that left foot and hug your left hip back and keep that spine long. And then slowly unwind. Start to turn to the right. Take the right forearm onto the, or left forearm onto the left thigh and reach your right arm over, coming into extended side angle. Right, keep rooting through that right foot and expand across the right side. Maybe hug the left waist in and maybe find a bit more stretch across the right. And on your next breath, rise up. Come up into warrior two. You can take a moment here If you need to reset your stance, and then looking over that left hand, let's flip the left palm up, lower the right hand down, and stretch the left arm up for Exalted Warrior. Let's rise back up. Start to straighten into the left leg. Let's hinge forward. And then we'll lower the left hand along the left leg and reach the right arm up, coming into triangle pose. Widen across the chest, lifting up through the crown of the head. And then just looking down towards the mat, take a slight step forward with that right foot. Right, so you're gonna take a shorter triangle. And then just lift up slightly so that maybe your left hand is resting a little bit higher on the left leg. And now your right arm is up and sort of more out towards like maybe the corner of where the wall and ceiling meet. And then start to sweep the right arm over. Right, let's take a side bend. Hug your left waist in and maybe stretch a little bit more across the right. And then lifting up slightly. And again, another side bend. Stretch that right arm over and hug the left waist in. And then one more time, just lifting out slightly and then coming back into that side bend. And then let's rise all the way up. And let's just reverse. Lower the right arm down. Take the left arm up. And then lowering the left hand, let's step the right foot forward next to the right. And coming into mountain pose. And take a moment at the top of your mat. And just noticing if the left and right side might feel different. And then let's set up into chair. And let's reach the arms up and over. Bend the knees and take the hips back. And just find your chair. Let's take hands to heart center. Right, really lengthen through the spine. Start to bend the knees a little bit more and take the hips back a little. Let's twist to the left. And just hold here in your twist. And then slowly start to lower a little bit more. Right, so just making, like we'll connect the right elbow onto the left leg. Right, so don't worry about hooking the elbow to the outside, right? Even just as if it rests or comes really close to the top of that left thigh. Right, and just hold here in your twist. And then turning to look down towards the feet. We're going to come up to stand on that right leg. And once again, we're going to focus on keeping the right elbow connected to the left thigh. So this time, this twisting balance. So let's shift the weight into the right foot. Start to lift the left heel up. Right, maybe start to straighten into the right leg. Lift the left toes up off the mat. And just come up to stand any amount. And then start to rise up, but stay in your twist. So you're lifting the left knee up and you're twisting towards the left. And then just hold here in your twist. Start to lean towards the top of the mat and slowly step the right or left foot back, right, coming into a lunge. And then unwind, right, leaning forward. And let's reach the arms forward. And just hold and pause. And then let's sweep the left hand down onto the mat and take the right arm up, holding in this twisting lunge. Let's plant the right hand down and let's step the right foot back, coming into your plank. Again, option of knees up or down. Lower all the way down onto the mat. And let's untuck the toes. Right, press the feet down and start to curl up. Right, finding your back bend. And then let's lower all the way back down and push back into child's pose. Again, just a moment here to pause. Arms forward or back, or you can bend the elbows and just rest the forehead onto hands. And let's make our way into tabletop. And we'll repeat that flow on the other side. Walking hands to the left side of the mat. Let's step the right foot forward. Tuck the left toes under and lift the left knee up. Pivot onto the sole of that left foot. Okay, and let's right away rise all the way up. Right, coming into warrior two. Holding here in your warrior. Maybe take a moment just to reset your stance. And look over your right hand. Let's flip the right palm up. Start to lower the left arm back and reach the right arm up. Rising back into our warrior two. All right, let's start to straighten into the right leg. Start to hinge forward and then lower that right hand along the right leg and reach that left arm up. Turning to look down towards the mat, let's take a small step forward with that left leg. So just taking a shorter stance. And then let's take that side bend here, or start to lift up slightly so that your right hand is a little higher on the right leg, and then start to reach that left arm over. Right, hug the right waist in and expand across the left side. And then let's lift up slightly and then come back into the bend. One more time, lifting up and then leaning over to the right. And one last time, let's lift up and let's lean into this side stretch. And then let's rise all the way up and let's reverse, lowering the left hand back and reach that right arm up and over. And then lower the right hand down and let's step the left foot forward next to the right, coming back into our mountain pose. And just take a moment here, again, just to notice how the left and right sides feel. And then setting up into chair. Let's take the arms up and over, bend the knees and sit the hips back. Take hands to heart center. Grow tall through the spine. And let's twist to the right. And just hold here in this twist. Give yourself a breath. And then start to lower down and start to connect the left elbow onto the right thigh. And grow tall and extend out through the crown of the head. And just breathe here in your twist. And then slowly turn to look down towards the mat. And then this time we'll come to stand onto the left leg, right? And hold and connect that the left elbow onto the right thigh. So start to shift the weight into the left foot. Start to lift the right heel up. Right? Start to straighten into the left leg. So maybe the right toes come off the mat. And slowly coming up to stand. And then you can release and then rise up into your twist. Right? That right knee is still up and you're still twisting towards the right. And then slowly start to tip the torso towards the top of the mat. And then start to step your right leg out behind you. Right? Coming into your twisting lunge. Let's unwind. Right? Holding here. Right? Sweeping the arms forward. And then right away, let's plant the right hand down and stretch the left arm up. Coming into our twisting lunge. Let's plant the left hand down and step that left foot back. Find your plank. And then lower all the way down onto the mat. Untucking the toes. Really hug the elbows in and start to lift up for your back bend. And then let's lower all the way back down. And then push back into child's pose. Right? Any arm variation. Again, just a moment to pause. Right? Reconnecting with your breath. And then coming up to a seat. And let's take the legs out in front. Let's extend the left leg out to the side. Bend into the right knee, sole of the right foot along the inner left leg. Let's sit up nice and tall. And let's twist to the right. You can rest the left hand onto the right knee. Right, maybe lengthen through the spine a little bit more and just find a little bit more rotation. And then staying here in our twist, we'll take that side bend. So similar to how we started the practice. All right, let's start to sweep the right arm up. Start to lean over the left leg and stretch your right arm over. Right, maybe hug that left waist in and expand a little bit more across the right. And slowly rise back up and lower the right arm down. Just take a breath here in your twist. And then let's unwind and turn to face the left leg. Let's flex the left foot and then hug the left thigh down into the mat. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Start to hinge from the hips. Right, start to lean over your left leg any amount. Right, hands can rest onto the mat. You can hold anywhere along the leg. And just take a breath here. And then option, you can stay here. Or if you'd like, you can start to round the spine and just lower the head. And just start to add a stretch across the back body. And then slowly coming back up to a seat. And we'll switch sides. So let's extend the right leg out, bending into the left, sole of the left foot along the inner right leg. Right, sitting up nice and tall. Let's start to twist to the left. Right, you can rest the hand onto the knee and just take the left arm out behind you. Maybe find just a little bit more length through the spine, and then twisting a little further. And just hold and pause in your twist. And then setting up for that side bend. Let's start to reach the left arm up. Let's start to lean over the right leg. Right, stretch the left arm over, hug the right waist in, and just stretch a little bit more across the left side. And just extend out through those left fingertips. And then rising all the way back up. Right, set that left hand back down, coming back into your twist. And just give yourself a breath here. And then let's unwind and turn to face the right leg. Right, start to flex into that right foot and just hug the thigh down into the mat. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's start to lean over the right leg any amount. Right, you can rest hands on the mat or anywhere along the leg. And keep flexing through that right foot. Right leg is really strong. And then option to stay here. Or if you'd like, you can start to round the spine and just lower the head towards the leg. And just stretch across the back body. And then slowly rise back up. And then let's make our way onto our back and we'll set up for a reclined twist. So just start right with the knees bent, soles of the feet on the mat. And just noticing how your spine is feeling. And just noticing the weight of the spine against the mat. And then let's hug the knees in towards the chest. Maybe rock a little from side to side. And then holding on to the right knee, extend the left leg out towards straight. Taking the right knee in the left hand, right arm can come out to the side. And then start to sweep that right knee over to the left, right, finding your reclined twist. Your right leg can stay bent, or if you'd like, you can take the leg towards straight. You can keep the left hand resting onto the right thigh. You can turn your gaze towards the right, right? Maybe even hug the left waist in and just push forward gently through the right ribs. And just noticing how that feels in your twist. And then just soften and relax into your shape. And then slowly unwind. And coming back to center. And just take a moment here. And just a couple of breaths. And then setting up for the other side. Start by hugging knees in towards the chest. Again, just gently rocking from side to side. And then holding on to the left knee, extend the right leg out. Taking the left knee in the right hand, left arm out to the side, And then taking the leg over to the right. All right, finding your reclined twist on the other side. Again, left leg can stay bent, or you can straighten the leg. Rest the hand onto the thigh. Take your gaze to the left. Maybe hug the right waist in, and then just pushing through the left side ribs. And then settle into your twist. And then slowly unwind, coming back to center. Just reconnecting and tuning into your awareness, and then setting up for your final relaxation. You can extend the legs out along the mat. Let the feet fall to either side. Right, arms resting at your sides with the palms face up. And coming into Shavasana, allow the body to get heavy. Just soften the breath. Right, settle into stillness and letting go of all effort. And if you're ready to close your practice, start to deepen the breath, bringing awareness back into the body. You can start to invite some movement into fingers and toes. Invite movement into arms and legs. You can roll the head from side to side, just gently waking the body back up. If you'd like to do one more stretch, you can reach your arms up and over. Take a deep inhale here and stretch all through the body. And on your exhale, letting everything go. You can hug your knees in towards the chest. Maybe rock a little from side to side. Taking a moment to thank yourself for your practice today. And then when you're ready, moving at your time, finding your way back up towards the seat. And thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your practice with me today. It is always an honor and always a joy to share this practice. Sending gratitude for our practice and gratitude for our community. Wishing you all a beautiful rest of the day. Peace.